Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Carter Hall. This is the What Really Happened podcast. I'm joined once again, by Matt Long. Matt, how's it going, buddy?
Going good. Feels good to be here once again.
Heck yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, excuse me, there's a lot of stuff going on in sports right now, and it feels like it's kind of exciting. So I hit you up. We always talk about sports always. So that was a quick yes. So obviously I had to get you on. A lot of exciting stuff, especially with our Texas Rangers and everything going on right now. Everything's pretty heating up, not just weather wise, but heating up with the Rangers. Um, are you pretty excited about the Rangers lately?
Yeah, I'm a proud fan, and I just feel like things are getting better for the Rangers. Just overall, like batting, pitching, just the whole entire roster is like shaping up to be a good one, and I hope things uh keep going the way that they are, because I really want to see our Rangers, make it to the playoffs.
For sure. If they keep, I think, on this track, I think they'll do pretty good. I mean, without a doubt, I believe, the way our pitching's been going and everything like that, I believe that and everything's all around batting. Marcus Semien, his bat's really been doing really great too. He's had two grand slams lately, the last two different separate occasions. I was watching those games and I was like, that's so exciting. And then, he obviously hit the first one against Houston, which I love because I'm not, I hate Houston, but I'm like, of course, I would love it if he hit a grand slam and he ended up hitting it. I'm like, man, this is perfect. Did you watch those games at all, or did you watch it later on?
Yes, I did actually, and I'm uh I'm gonna agree with you on that. Just like in Houston thing, because I'm on board with that. I'm proud of Marcus Semien of what he's done. Dallas Garcia, as always, like he hits atomic bombs, like
Yeah.
just like almost every swing when he connects, he hits it out of the park most of the time. I am worried about Corey Seager. That's my favorite player. He has a hamstring.
Yeah.
When we Royals in that game, he got hurt, so I was like, dang it. And Jacob DeGrom as well, with the sore wrist. I'm hoping he gets back out there pretty soon. But as so far, like this team has done some pretty awesome things.
Yeah, they have. They've been doing, other than some injuries, and like you said, with Corey Seager and so little stuff going on with Jacob DeGrom. I feel like we've actually the fact that two of those star athletes aren't really playing as much, or at all. It feels like we actually been like, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, Matt, but it feels like we actually been like what I've seen from the Rangers so far is like we've been actually carrying ourselves a little bit more, even without those players. We've kept on, if that makes any sense at all. It feels like even like with those star players in the lineup, it feels like we're like destined to do a lot of great things. But even with those out, it feels like man, we can be that team that can make a great push in the playoffs later on. And it feels like though, that like with those three players gone, it feels like, man, we really are. We really could be that team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. With
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Sorry, that sounds good. You sound good.
My headphones went off for some reason, which was weird.
Technology, dude, it happens.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying on the Rangers. We have some really good pieces. Josh Smith is a really good player. Jonah Heim, man,
Yeah,
the way they made that grand slam to end that one game against the Royals, that was pretty epic. So I'm proud of those two, and just looking for more along the way when we keep playing like better teams. What I'm really looking forward to is how we play against like powerful teams like the Yankees for sure. The Tampa Bay Rays have been on a roll this year, so teams like that, I want to like see how we do.
yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've been playing, I think since we played against the Astros, we played them I think pretty well, and they're a big market team it seems like. So obviously going to constantly going to playoffs and road series and left and right. So it feels like that gives me I don't know about you, but it gives me as a Rangers fan confidence to actually like maybe like you say go against the Rays or the Yankees, these bigger teams. Not bigger in the sense of like size, but the bigger as in like market, if that makes any sense. Like these bigger teams who are well established. Not that the Rangers aren't, but it feels like everybody doesn't think the Rangers. Like there's this thing around the Rangers. I would think that like, oh, we're not the World Series, we're not going to go to the playoffs. We think this and that, but I think the fact that we've been playing this good actually could be like a step up. I'm not sure what our record is right now. I know it's over 500 for sure, but do you happen to know at the top of your head what our record is?
Um, I know we're like 10 or 11 and 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know we're definitely over 500 for sure, and it feels like maybe like we if we get past those teams, we really could be dominant. Like we could be like the next team in the next what am I trying to say? The next like juggernaut in the major leagues, I think.
I think it's only 5 losses. I'm not I'm trying to count all the games that we lost to. We lost to the Orioles twice, Cubs twice, Astros. No, it's 6. It's 6.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, considering how many games we played so far and how many games we're going to play, I think we're pretty good. I think we're in pretty good shape right now. Really great shape. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the rest. I'm looking forward to the summer. I think with the summer, I think the fact that I think with the summer going on, I think when it starts getting warmer and hotter, I think that's going to be really, really good too. I think, considering but the thing about the Rangers is good with the stadium is that like we don't have to deal with the heat anymore, considering because we got a new stadium and everything. So I've been in there twice, I think, so far since it's been open. And you're outside and it feels like 150-degree weather. You walk inside to the stadium and it's like a cool 70 something degrees. And you're like, oh man, this feels pretty good. You don't have to like apply like 18 different layers of sunscreen on just to watch a baseball game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But I'm really looking forward to like watching like the sow poodles like this summer. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's just like fun to like go to that stadium, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that stadium, even minor league double A, I mean, that's exciting to watch too, because you get to watch a lot of up and coming players come and like make it establish, like you said, make a name for themselves. That's really cool to watch too. It's just so exciting, I think, just to have the baseball scene in here in Amarillo again.
Yeah, like you never know like who is on the rise. Like we saw Fernando Tatis who's on the Padres actually played a little bit on the South Poodles, and I was there to witness one of them games where he was just a monster on the field, man. Just
Yeah.
crazy talent.
Yeah, really crazy talent. I got to see one of his games too, and I was like, it's one of those things that feels like I don't know how to say this, but I always say like people who didn't get to watch him here in Amarillo, like I had a couple conversations. Like it's like these Sopitos players, like these double A guys, are great. They're obviously great players to playing at a double A level to eventually get to play pro baseball. Like they want to get called up. That's a dream, right? But watching Fernando Tatis, who's already been like playing at that major league level, come down, play double A for an assignment, rehab assignment, it's like watching, it's like, I want to say it's almost day and night, almost compared to like how much they play. Like Fernando Tatis is like so quick. His glove is so good too. It's like watching a varsity guy play a game with the JV guys almost, comparing, kind of like a comparison almost, in a way. That's what I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just hope he like gets back to that level again, like with all the crap that he was dealing with last season. Let's
Oh,
hope that
yeah.
he can like get back to that platform that like he was like on the rise to like being one of the best MLB players like in the league again. Like he was like one of the best in the league with like Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, and just like all those talented superstars. Let's hope that he can get back on that in that category again.
Most definitely. I mean, he's in that category. I think if he gets back to that state like he was not long ago, I think he could be in that category again, though. Like you said, with those great names like Bryce Harper and all those players, he's got that talent like those guys do for sure.
He truly does.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty exciting to watch. Another guy I've been kind of who's like he's a shortstop. I know Fernando Tatis played a little bit of outfield, but he got his start with shortstop. Another shortstop who dominated. I don't know if we ever talked about the World Baseball Classic at all, but um, another guy who's a shortstop that really did good in the World Baseball Classic was Trey Turner, who plays for the Phillies now. Um, did you get to watch the World Baseball Classic at all?
I got to watch a little bit of it. I mostly watched the game where it was Japan against Mexico.
Oh
That
yeah,
was a
that's
huge
a good
game.
one. What do you are you like? What do you like about like? What are your okay? Let me ask this way. What are your thoughts? Like, how do you like with the World Baseball Classic? Do you think because there's I think debate like I don't know if you ever heard of this debate, but if you are, I kind of want to bring it up to you. That like it kind of has a possibility of hurting players, not hurting, but like it's too much of this. Either they just need to focus on spring training. Like, what are your thoughts on that? So they be allowed to keep doing the World Baseball Classic, or so they just stick to the regular like get ready for spring training every 3 years?
I mean, if the player wants to play in the World Baseball Classic, he can. But if he doesn't, he can like just like rest up for spring training, just not risk like any like injuries or just anything like that. I mean, we saw that with Jose Altuve, like where he played at I think it was Venezuela or something like that. He injured his thumb.
Oh yeah.
Um, it was either a thumb or index finger, but he got injured in one of the World Baseball Classic games, and like it just sucks when a star player like that gets hurt.
Yeah, it always thinks like a start, like I said, star player, but even that pitcher, Diaz, I think what his name is, plays
Oh,
for the Met.
Edwin Diaz,
Edwin,
yes.
he got hurt. He wasn't even pitching. He wasn't even playing that game. I don't think. I don't believe. I may be lying about that part, but he got hurt during a game during the World Baseball Classic. I don't know if he's out for the season, but he's going to be out pretty bit, like for a bit, I think. Now it's just crazy too, hearing about them. Like, what? He got hurt, and I watched the video. I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, I didn't like. So he was celebrating a win, and he ended up getting injured because of it. So insane.
Yeah, he like plays for Puerto Rico, didn't he? Or did he play for Puerto Rico?
I think so. He played some. I forgot. Like, I think he did. That sounds about right, but I could be wrong on that.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was lights out though. He's pretty good though. He's been pretty good though, obviously.
Yeah, he was gonna be like one of the best pitchers for the New York Mets.
Yeah, he's done. He's the one that comes out with that really cool song that kind of took over the internet for a while there, the trumpets and all
Yeah,
that.
I like that. I like that song.
Yeah, me too. I play every so often. Like, just gets me hyped too. But it's pretty cool. I mean, he's definitely. I think that song pretty much fits him. He's like a great start athlete too. Obviously, but every time you hear the trumpet start playing, he's pretty much going to be lights out. It seems like.
And Mets fans seem to really like that too. Like the crowd would go crazy when Edwin Diaz would make his appearance to the mound and just start pitching.
Yeah, for sure. It's always cool to see that. I see clips of that all the time. I think they actually incorporated it in the what you call it the newest MLB game, video game. I think
Yeah,
they I think they incorporated. I saw something about the. I'm like, that's so cool today. Like when it comes out, the pitch, whatever. They have that little like cutscene or whatever, if you will, and like they have them playing the music. I'm like, that's so cool. And then you get to do like the warm up pitches like you do with it and anything. Like, that's so cool. That's so neat that they incorporated that.
yeah. I did watch a video of that. Like it is in the game, which is pretty cool to do. Like they want. It seems like some sports video games are realistic. Some are just very unrealistic, and I'm sorry to chew one video game out, but Madden needs to get their crap together and try to make it as realistic as possible. But it's the same video game over and over. So
Yeah, I know. I haven't bought a Madden game in years. I think the last one I bought was like in 2011 or 2012 or something like that. So it's been a minute.
Mine was in 2015.
Oh, really? Who was on the cover of that one? Do you remember?
Richard Sherman, I think.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was that was pretty cool. I mean, I guess we're kind of transitioning about football. I mean, with football and everything like that. I mean, are you a big like video game person too? Like, are you like watching the Madden like with Madden? Are you like checking the ratings too and anything like that? Like, I gotta have this player on this team or blah blah like and stuff like that with football.
I just mostly take a look what the graphics gonna look like because they always try to like up their game and stuff, but it just feels like the gameplay is just the same thing. That's why I'm so prepared for like NCAA to make their return to the big screen for video games. Like I still play my NCAA football 14 on my PS3. That's how long it's been.
Wow. I mean, I remember like watching gameplay from I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Matt, but on YouTube there's a guy, his name is Trevor Martin, and
Trevor.
like his YouTube name is T Martin 2 or something like that. But he played if you haven't heard of him, go check him out. He's pretty cool. He plays a lot of different games, but whenever the most recent Madden game came out, or something like that, he played it. I watched some of the gameplay. It looked kind of cool. I mean, he said there's some of the stuff that like are the same, but like other than that, like first part, like the story mode, like not story mode, what's it called? The camp, you know what I'm talking about? Like the actual create a player, when you create a player and play with them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what that is too.
I forgot the name of it. On baseball, it's road to the so, but in football, I don't know what they call it. But you know what I'm talking about, right? That concept of it.
Yeah,
So he
it's
was
like
playing.
the road to
Sorry.
something.
Oh yeah, something like that. I forgot. It's leaving my mind, but I saw T Martin whatever play it. I'm like, looks the story mode looks different, but at the same time though, like, is it this? Like, I didn't want to invest too much into it because I didn't know if it was going to be the same like every other game that's been coming out. It feels like it's just been like copy paste kind of stuff been going on. Um, is that what you think kind of been going on too? Like, is that what you're pretty much you're saying too?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the same thing. They I think they did that back in like Madden 17, Madden 18, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of excited. I mean, about video game. Like, hopefully they get something new, something different for sure. But talking like since we're on the topic about football, we're talking about the Rangers, but there's another Dallas team that plays right across, not like I say across the street, but pretty close by to the Ranger Stadium. It's our Dallas Cowboys. Um, so I was gonna ask with the draft or anything coming up. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, like if you're Jerry Jones, who are you picking for in the first round?
To me, I would say easily running back. They got rid of Ezekiel Elliott, and there's definitely one guy that I have on my mind, and that man is Bijan Robinson from the University of Texas.
For sure.
Bijan Robinson is just a talented running back, one of the best in the nation. How can you not love this guy?
I know that's pretty cool. I mean, I love him too. I love watching him play, especially when he was at Longhorn, because that's obviously we're Longhorn fans too. Watching them play, and I'm like, he's so exciting to watch in college. But do you think I haven't seen any projections. Have you seen any like predictions, like draft, like things like that? Any like draft ideas lately of
When
where
it
he's
comes to
going?
the top 10, there's like some that are like very easily to predict. But when it comes to the late picks in the first round, they're like all over the place. They had like Bijan like going to the Cowboys or going to the Chargers or going to the Patriots and
Yeah.
even one to the disgusting Eagles, and it's just all over the
Boo.
place.
So yeah, I'm saying boo because I hate the Eagles, but um, I mean, do you think Jerry would ever trade up in the draft to get bees on, you think, or do you think he's going to stay put where he's at?
Uh, I can only hope they trades up, but when it comes to Jerry Jones, you never know what he's gonna do. The man
Yeah,
is unpredictable, in my opinion.
for sure. Do you? I'm trying to think. Where are we? Are we in the middle round? Are we in the top 10 at all? Do we
No,
have any of the top? I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
think 20th or something like that. When it comes to playoff teams usually go like
Oh,
at the
later.
very like late picks of the first round.
Yeah. Do you think? Hopefully, that'd be nice if Jerry can actually like. Not that I can't remember the last time he ever traded up, if he ever did recently. Um, unless you can think of any. I can't think of any like the last time he traded up, but hopefully this year can hopefully, knock on wood, he trades up and honestly like goes within top 10 maybe. That would be a dream. Or top 15, hopefully it goes down a few more slots. And if the starting line, hopefully we pick Bison, because I think, with Ezekiel Elliott gone, I think Tony Pollard's a great running back rather. I love Tony Pollard, but I think with Bees on there, with him and Tony there, I think those two can really do something together. I think.
Oh yeah, for a fact. Like it'd be amazing to watch.
Yeah. Do you think with Bees on, if Bees on is a Cowboy with Tony there, um, do you think their styles would be set? Do you think they have similar styles in playing, or do you think they're different enough to they can make a big difference?
Bijan's got speed. He's got strength to break through tackles. His just elusiveness is just unmatched. Like if you watch him play the it was the Red River rivalry game
Yeah.
where Texas was playing Oklahoma. Dude was unstoppable. No one can bring him down. No one. Like he broke like 8 or 7 tackles. It was just fun to watch, and like Texas won that game too. So of course, like I was happy, but Bijan's very special. I got a jersey of him playing for the University of Texas. So imagine if he plays for the Cowboys. Count me in on getting that jersey too.
Most definitely. I would have to get one too. I don't have a Cowboys jersey. Like the last Cowboys jersey I had was a Dez Bryant jersey. So I definitely had to update my Cowboys jersey gear and actually get like a Bison jersey or something like that. If Bison comes to the Cowboys, that's the first one I'm getting. Because lately the only Cowboys jersey I would rather get was a Zach Martin jersey. But if Bison is coming, I'm coming to get a Bison jersey right away.
Yeah, you probably had to order those suckers too, man. Like
Yeah,
those could be sold out easily.
for sure. Speaking of the Red River rivalry, that's a tongue twister for me. I'm sorry, but it's a UT and OU game that go, but like we always play every year. But the last time that one of the last times that they played, there was a former Cowboy that played for that game, that Red River game, and it was a CD Lamb. He
Yes.
actually, like, as a Cowboys fan, as a Longhorns fan rather, I hate it to say this, but as a Cowboys fan, I think I can say it now. But he absolutely murdered us, I think, in that game. I mean, the fact that he was so good in that game, I'm like, that's maybe he can be a Cowboy and end up becoming a Cowboy. But now it's the other way around with Bison playing for UT. I would love to see him, Jerry pick another OU or another UT player and have him play for the Cowboys. That would be such a dream, to have like a UT player, a Longhorn play for the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's another Texas Longhorn player that I would like to get to but we're not really short on like linebackers. DeMarvion Overshown was a very good linebacker for us at the University of Texas, and he has speed. His hit ability is just amazing. Like he'll hit you hard as long as you have the ball in your arms or hands. He will come up and make a play. And not only that, he has edge rushing ability, kind of like Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But like I'm not sure if we have like any like linebackers if we're thin at linebackers. I don't think we are. So I think Bijan would just be the only Longhorn player that's acceptable.
Yeah, I think with Micah and we got Van Der Esch there, and I think our defense, if anything, we possibly could go after corners. I don't know. I think corners are maybe. I don't know. With I don't think I think we're. I don't know what we may be good with linebackers. I'm not completely sure. I have to look at the depth chart again, but I think maybe corners, and I don't know. I think maybe safeties. I'm not sure. What do you think as far as defense?
Possibly safeties. I think corners were good because we got Stephon Gilmore
Oh
in
yeah,
free agency, and then Trayvon Diggs as well. And then Bland, our undrafted, either undrafted or late round pick in last year's draft. He came out pretty good too.
yeah. Do you think Curse will be good enough to come back and be dominant again?
I'm hoping Curse can be that guy. Either Curse or uh, Donovan Wilson. We resigned
Oh yeah,
him.
for sure. I forgot about Donovan Wilson, but yeah, I think maybe yeah. I think we after you go pick a few defensive players maybe just to help out maybe, but I think that could be like a later rounds kind of thing if need be kind of thing. But as far as offense, definitely a running back. Do you think we need any more offensive linemen?
Um, we got rid of Connor McGovern. He went to the Bills, so I think we would need someone like that to like probably start in his place because I don't know who else is like behind Connor McGovern when McGovern went down. I think they like kind of switched those guys that were on the opposite of the line and like kind of like rotated, you know.
Yeah, is that he's at was it left guard, right?
I think he was left guard. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like if we pick up another left guard, because um we have got obviously Zach Martin at right guard, and at center, what's his name? Blanking on his center's name. Who's the center for the Cowboys?
Biotish.
Biotis. That's right. Tyler Biotis. So so we definitely go after like a left guard soon. And do you think with Tyron Smith at right, they moved him from left to right tackle? Do you think it would be completely weird to draft a right tackle? You think?
And then I think we got Terrence Still coming back too.
That's right. Okay, Terrence Steele. And then okay, so far we
Tyler
possibly
Smith.
need. That's right. Tyler is it Tyler Smith? Something like that.
Yeah, our rookie from last year, Tyler Smith. I think we may move Tyron to right guard or right tackle, excuse me. I'm not too sure yet though.
Yeah. So it's like we can kind of switch and make sure there's strong points there at line and tackle and stuff like that. So we can kind of see like their strengths there, if that makes any sense. But we could definitely say I think we've got time to see it after the draft. But one thing I want to say before I head out, or not head out, but one more topic. That's because we talked about our Cowboys, our Rangers, a little bit of a Longhorns. Um, one thing that I think everybody, I mean, at least I like talking about is the UFC. A lot of great stuff been going on lately. What have you seen, and like, what have you been excited for, and what are you excited for coming up?
Just like the new fights that get announced, like pay-per-view wise or even fight night wise. Because some fight night main events are the next to get a title shot. So we've seen it in the past. So like I'm ready for anything really when it comes to UFC. We got UFC 288 coming pretty soon in like a few weeks, something like that.
Oh yeah. What are you excited? What's making you? I guess. What are you looking forward to in the 288?
Well, I was looking forward to Charles Oliveira and Benil Dariush in the co-main, but it got moved
Okay.
to
Yeah.
UFC 289 because Oliveira hurt himself. So we have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. You sent me that I think on Instagram. I was like, what happened? Like, and all this stuff. I was like, kind of crazy. Like that kind of came out of left field. I mean, I wasn't expecting any of that, to move it because that's one fight I was like kind of really looking forward to. I mean, like with
Oh,
Oliveira or anything like that. But um, also too, we got another fight that I kind of it's not 288, but it's one fight that I think possibly, I think hopefully it will follow through, is Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. You know, because they're like I think we talked about this once maybe with they're going to be the new coaches for the what's it called, the show, the Ultimate Fighter.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, the Ultimate Fighter. I was going to call it the Dana White Contender Series. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. What is it? But um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, with Michael Chandler, do you think, and Connor, I mean, what are you really looking forward to that fight?
Of course it's gonna be a pay-per-view, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna headline it, but the big question is when is it gonna get here? Like, is it gonna get here in September, or is it gonna get here in August? It's gotta be in one of those 2 months because the Ultimate Fighter ends in like uh June or July, but we already have those two pay-per-views already in set in those 2 months for June and July. So it's got to be in August or September. My prediction, though, it could be in September. Um, there was a rumor that August that they're going back to London for UFC 291. I think Leon Edwards is a rumor to be um, the headliner in that uh, event for London UFC 291. So I'm guessing it's going to be Leon Edwards versus Kobe Covington, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I could. Oh, Colby Covington, in September and all that. That's pretty exciting to see. I mean, sorry, I got a phone call. Sorry, I was trying to end it, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, with Colby Covington and everybody, I think that would be pretty exciting. You know, coming back. I mean, another fight too, like kind of would be around that time, like August, September, maybe a little bit later in the year, would be we talk about this all the time. Stipe and John Jones. Um, like because we you and I talked about it all the time for the past feels like year almost. Talking about like when we were finally going to see initially John Jones and Stipe initially for the heavyweight title, but we never got to see that happen. We saw Cheryl gone from John Jones, obviously, with John Jones winning, but that got pushed back. We thought it was going to be initially the rematch, I guess, was John Jones's first title defense. You know, we thought we are going to see that in July, but it actually got moved, postponed to or later down the line. Do you see that going on, I guess, after summer, like in the fall or something like that?
From what I've heard, it's supposed to be in the works for November. They want to have
Okay.
it in New York City at
Oh,
the Garden.
wow, that's gonna be such an epic, epic night to have those two main headlining. Matt, is it Madison Square Garden? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it should definitely headline too in Madison Square Garden. I mean, what event wouldn't headline Madison Square Garden besides John Jones and Stipe?
If you're gonna have two of the greatest heavy, well, John Jones only had one heavyweight fight, but you don't know what I mean. If you're gonna have two of the biggest, I guess, heavyweights going at it, going for the title, it would make sense to have it in Madison Square Garden, either or Vegas. I can see Vegas, but if you're not gonna have it in Vegas, Madison Square Garden is going to be the only other option that's going to make sense. That's going to make a like bring a huge crowd, you know, a sellout crowd.
Yeah, and then I wonder who's gonna also do like the co-main event too. Like, there's gonna be some two or three title fights in Madison Square Garden. I can feel it. I'm
Yeah,
thinking it's gonna be two, but we we have to see the what's going to happen in that. And then Abu Dhabi in October, they always have that happening too. Of course, I think Islam Makhachev will be
yeah,
the headliner in that one.
most definitely. I was going to bring that up too with Islam. When October in Abu Dhabi. I mean, do you think? I mean, I remember when Islam won the title. I mean, that was it was kind of a mixed emotion, like mixed feelings about that because I think we're everybody, you and I were everybody was saying like, oh, he's like a Khabib almost 2.0. I mean, do you think is this his first title fight or title defense? Is like his first
It'll be his first title defense in the lightweight division. But we gotta see who's the next guy for that title shot to go against Islam because Islam after he won the belt he went up against Alexander Volkanovski for the super fight that they had in February.
Yeah. So you think with so what do you think with Abu Dhabi with Islam? Um, do you think that I know we don't know who the fighter's going to be yet, but do you think it's going to be another title, like a not title? Do you think it's going to be any pressure considering it's going to be his first title defense at that weight class?
Ooh, I think this could play out in a UFC 289. They're moving the Darius versus Oliveira fight in UFC 289. So the winner of that could possibly fight for the title in October.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick to watch that, I think, in October. I mean, kind of back up a little bit too. Um, we were just talking about Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. Do you think with those two winning, do you think they go to a title shot anytime soon after that?
Maybe a title shot, or it could be one more fight before the title. Like, ooh, I hate to say it, but if Conor McGregor does beat Michael Chandler, it could be fighting someone like uh Justin Gaethje, like
That would
some
be
some hard hitter.
yeah. Can you imagine? I think wait, I want to say Michael Chandler has Michael and Justin Gaethje have they fought each other already, right?
Yeah, they fought each other already back in 2021.
Yeah, Michael won that fight, right?
No, Justin did.
Justin did. Oh, yeah, kind of know what you're coming back to me. So between Michael and Connor, do you think that goes the distance, or what do you think that's going to come out of it?
I see it ending in like round one or round two.
Is it going to be like a knockout or submission from either one?
Knockout, possibly a knockout.
I think so too. I think those two are so matched. Like with like I remember I always bring this up matchup, but I think with Cowboy and the match he had with Connor, the only difference is I think if Connor did exactly he executed his game plan exactly, he went in there and slugged it out, and went to the clinch and kind of broke Connor Cowboy's nose and kind of just went downhill from there and striking what Connor knows best, but had Cowboys start wrestling him or out wrestle him or out grapple him, I think it was going to be a long night for Connor because it was going to be Cowboys game all day. But with this fight between Michael Chandler and Connor, those two I think are pretty similar in fighting style. So I think, like you said, it could literally go 1 or 2 rounds maybe, and it could be a submission or knockout from either one of them. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, Michael though, I mean, he's been a champion in Bellator. I mean, do you think would you I'm trying to think like that'd be kind of cool to see Michael Chandler as a champion in UFC. Something different.
I
But
mean,
I don't
it,
know what
it
do you think?
would, but I think he has a long way to get there, though.
Yeah, for sure. So I think Connor like I can see on the other way though, on the other side, Connor going to win like he has a closer if he wins against if he beats Michael, I think he has a closer shot at winning the title for sure. I can see that both ways.
Yeah, like I could see Connor like fighting like either like Gaethje or probably straight to the title. But if he does go for a title shot, how would he beat Islam Makhachev? I mean, we've seen what
Oh
he
yeah.
did against Khabib. Like he had some success, but you gotta wrestle if you're gonna fight a guy like Islam.
For sure. Your grappling's got to be on point too. And we saw some defense from Connor and his wrestling defense, but that was against Khabib. But who knows? I don't know if you like you said you don't know. You have to like go in there and even though it's a MMA fight, you have to go in there and like try to out wrestle. The only way it makes sense to me is to out wrestle your opponent. That only makes sense to win the match. Like having control on the ground and going to submissions and your jiu-jitsu and your wrestling, those all have to be on point. You can't initially go out there striking because with the thing I think with Khabib, I think we saw was that he started out wrestling, I think, with Connor in that first fight, that fight they had, and then Connor was so scared of the takedown or anything like that that Khabib could start striking, going teeing off on him. And it kind of messed up Connor's game plan. And what did Khabib do? I think he started taking him down more, and obviously we saw what happened with him submissing. So with Islam, who knows if that's going to just be the same game plan or not with Connor?
We don't know what would happen if that's the case, you know.
Yeah. But, if we got crazy stuff to, there's a lot of stuff we have to see unfold first. But one more quick question, I guess, a couple more quick questions before we head out. Thank you for your time. But just want to say, like, with Michael Chandler and Connor, what do you see that fight happening at? If you were to book it anywhere, is that happening in Vegas or somewhere else?
Easily Las Vegas.
For sure, I could see that. I knew that's gonna be your answer, but that's gonna be a Vegas fight for sure.
Possibly, man. Could be fight of the night, performance of the night.
All the
So
above,
many
yeah.
possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. I can see it definitely going. But yeah, dang, we talked about a lot. We talked about baseball, football. Yes, we kind of covered it all today.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for what's going on, dude. It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you contacting me to being on here again. I can't wait to do it again for UFC 288. We'll get a breakdown on that pretty soon, and more and more as we go.
For sure. Looking forward to it, man. So thank you. And thanks to everybody paying attention and watching and listening to this podcast, wherever you may be. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Matt, again, once again. Um,
Thank you so much.
but thanks to everybody listening. Pay attention. Have a great rest of the weekend. See ya. Bye.
See ya.